This video is about the teacher begged for help but the rich woman gave him a future. If this story inspires you, please like the video, share it with loved ones, and write in the comments how it touched your heart. Asterisk asterisk the teacher begged for help but the rich woman gave him a future. Part 1 asterisk asterisk. The sun peeked through the dusty windows of Brookside Elementary, casting a golden hue over the classroom filled with mismatched desks and tattered textbooks. Mr. Oliver Jennings stood at the front, his hands clasped tightly together, a nervous energy radiating from him. This was his second year teaching 5th grade, but the challenges he faced felt monumental. The students were bright but burdened. Many came from homes where the din of struggle drowned out the echoes of laughter. Poverty wrapped its arms around Brookside like a shroud, stifling dreams before they could take flight. As he looked out at their eager faces, Oliver felt the weight of their hopes resting squarely on his shoulders. "Okay, everyone," he said, forcing a bright smile despite the uncertainty that gnawed at him. "Let us start with our reading assignment." But as he turned to the board, he couldn't help but notice Emma, a timid girl in the back who always seemed lost in her thoughts. Her family had faced eviction multiple times, and her once vibrant spirit seemed dim. The sight tugged at his heart. "Emma," he called out gently, "would you like to share your thoughts on the book?" She looked up, eyes wide with surprise. I didn't really get it," she stammered. "It's okay. You can tell us what you think, even if it feels jumbled. That's the beauty of reading," Oliver encouraged. Emma blinked back tears, and Oliver felt the walls of his heart tighten. His classroom was more than just a place for academics. It was a sanctuary, a place where he desperately wanted his students to feel safe and understood. After school, as Oliver packed up his belongings, he couldn't shake the feeling of helplessness. He often found himself ruminating on the systemic issues plaguing the school. He wanted to do more for his students, real, tangible change. But funding was limited, and the administration seemed focused on standardized tests rather than the well-being of the children. Oliver stepped outside into the crisp autumn air. The trees were adorned with brilliant hues of orange and gold, but the beauty felt overshadowed by his worries. He needed help, but where could he turn? As he walked home, he passed the luxurious glass-fronted buildings of Maple Heights, the affluent neighborhood adjacent to his own. There, he noticed a woman standing outside her car, her designer handbag slung casually over her shoulder. She had an air of confidence, and Oliver couldn't help but wonder about her life. "Excuse me," he called out, his heart racing as he approached her. "I am Oliver. I teach at Brookside Elementary." She raised an eyebrow, intrigued. "And?" "I am in need of some support for my students," he explained hesitantly. "I am struggling to provide them with the resources they need to succeed. I know it sounds a bit strange, but I was hoping maybe you could help." The woman's expression shifted from curiosity to skepticism. "And why would I help? That's not my responsibility to fix your problems." Oliver's heart sank. "I understand, but these children are bright. They have so much potential. If only they had the tools, the encouragement, they could thrive." She studied him for a moment, and he could see a flicker of something in her eyes, perhaps empathy, perhaps disdain. He should find a better way to ask for help, she replied coolly before getting into her car. Just as she was about to drive off, Oliver called out again. "Wait, what if I could show you their stories? What if you could see the potential that I see every day?" She hesitated, and for a moment Oliver thought he might have reached her. But she shook her head, dismissing him, and sped off down the road. Days turned into weeks, and Oliver's worries deepened. The classroom remained a hodgepodge of creativity and chaos, but the stark realities of his students' lives loomed large. Emma had begun to withdraw even further, her homework sporadic, her smiles less frequent. And Oliver didn't know how to reach her. One particularly rainy afternoon, Oliver sat at his desk after school, staring at the mountain of ungraded assignments. He felt defeated. A soft knock interrupted his thoughts. "Mr. Jennings." It was Emma, her small frame soaking wet from the rain. "Emma, what are you doing here?" I didn't finish my homework, and I was afraid you'd be mad," she whispered. "Of course I am not mad. Come in, let us talk," he said, motioning her inside. As she stepped in, she hesitated, her eyes darting around the room. "I just feel I don't know, like it's all too much." Oliver nodded, his heart aching for her. "I understand. Sometimes life feels heavy, but we can carry it together. Can you tell me what's been bothering you?" "I don't want to move again. I like it here," she confessed, tears spilling down her cheeks. "I can keep starting over." "Yeah, Ma, I know it is hard, but you're brave. You are so brave," he reassured her. And remember, you have talents, you have a voice that deserves to be heard. Let us find ways to lift you up. That evening, Oliver drafted a proposal, a heartfelt letter outlining the vision he had for his students. He described their dreams, their resilience, the hidden brilliance beneath the surface. It was a long shot, but he decided to reach out to the community for support. As he hit send, he felt a flicker of hope ignite within him. The thought of creating a safe space for his students, a haven where they could explore their passions, filled him with determination. A week later, while chatting with his colleagues during lunch, Oliver's phone chimed. His heart raced as he opened the email. It was a response from the woman he had approached weeks ago. The subject line read, "Let us talk." With a mix of excitement and trepidation, he opened the message. "I read your proposal. I am intrigued by what you want to create for these children. I'd like to meet and discuss this further." Hope blossomed anew within Oliver. Perhaps they could ignite a spark in the community, awaken the hearts of those who had the means to help. As he prepared for the meeting, he thought of Emma and the countless students who deserved a chance to shine. The day of the meeting arrived, and Oliver stood outside a chic cafe in Maple Heights, his heart pounding. He was a teacher from a struggling district, about to meet a woman who likely had no idea what life looked like for his students. He hoped that his passion would resonate with her. When she arrived, he recognized her immediately. "Thank you for meeting with me," he began, feeling the weight of her gaze. "I am curious to see what you're actually proposing," she replied, her tone neutral. Meeting her eyes, he shared stories of his students, Emma, with her love for drawing, Malik, who dreamed of becoming an engineer, and Sophia, a budding poet. Every narrative he spun painted a picture of resilience, of hope, and of the extraordinary potential lurking beneath their circumstances. As he spoke, the woman's expression softened. "They all sound remarkable," she said slowly. "But what exactly do you need from me?" "It's just a chance," he replied earnestly. "A chance to create workshops, provide resources, and build a community that supports them. They need to believe that there is a way out of their struggles." The woman nodded, deep in thought. Oliver could see the gears turning in her mind. A flicker of understanding crossed her face, and he seized the moment. "Together, we can turn their stories into something beautiful. We can create change, one child at a time." For the first time since their meeting began, she smiled. "Let us see how we can make this happen." Little did they both know, this was just the beginning of a journey that would not only transform Oliver's classroom, but also alter the course of their lives forever. As they exchanged ideas, Oliver felt an overwhelming sense of possibility. Barriers that once seemed insurmountable began to dissolve, and with each word spoken, hope intertwined with determination. Together, they would forge a path forward, one filled with promise and the unwavering belief that kindness could reshape destinies. Asterisk, the teacher begged for help, but the rich woman gave him a future. Part 2 asterisk. As their conversation unfolded, Oliver felt a surge of energy coursing through him. The cafe buzzed with chatter and the aroma of freshly brewed coffee, but for him, the world outside faded away. They were in a sacred space, one that sparkled with possibility. "I have some ideas," he said, leaning forward. "We could create an after-school program focused on the arts and sciences. Emma could teach drawing, and Malik could lead a STEM club." The woman, whose name he learned was Margaret, nodded thoughtfully. That might resonate with them. Children often shine in environments that allow them to explore their passions. Oliver's mind raced. "We could also host community workshops, where parents could come in and learn skills that could help them support their families, maybe even job training sessions." Margaret leaned back, her eyes narrowing slightly as she considered his words. "That sounds ambitious, but it is crucial to engage the parents. They need to feel included in this transformation." "Yes," Oliver agreed. "The community needs to feel that they have a stake in the future of these children. It is not just about the kids, it is about everyone lifting each other up." Margaret's gaze softened, and Oliver could see her beginning to connect with the urgency of his mission. "What you're suggesting is more than just an after-school program. It is a holistic approach to changing lives." "Yes, exactly." Oliver's heart raced with excitement. "We could even partner with local businesses for sponsorships. With their involvement, we could secure the funds we need to create a meaningful impact." "Let us not get ahead of ourselves," Margaret warned lightly, but Oliver could sense a flicker of enthusiasm beneath her cautious demeanor. "Of course," Oliver replied. "But I truly believe that we can do this together. The foundation will have to be built on trust and relationship building. If we can connect with the community, we will see change." Margaret smiled thoughtfully. "I see a spark in you, Mr. Jennings. Your passion is contagious. I think it is time I get involved." Days turned into weeks as the pair worked tirelessly to put their ideas into action. Their collaboration blossomed, filled with brainstorming sessions, late-night emails, and coffee-fueled meetings. Oliver often marveled at how someone like Margaret, who seemed worlds apart from his daily reality, had become an ally in his mission. They organized a community meeting to introduce their initiative, inviting parents, students, and local business owners. As Oliver prepared to speak, he felt a mix of vulnerability and hope. This was more than just a proposal, it was a lifeline for his students. Standing at the front of the gymnasium, its walls adorned with student artwork, Oliver looked out at the crowd. Many familiar faces filled the seats, each etched with skepticism and curiosity. "Thank you all for coming," he began, his voice steadying. "We know that the challenges in our community are real and complex, but today, we're here to talk about possibilities." He shares stories about Emma's artistic talent and how the pressure of life weighed heavily on her spirit. He spoke about Malik and his dreams of engineering, and Sophia's poetic heart that yearned to escape the shadows of her environment. With every story, Oliver felt the room shift. Parents began to nod, their expressions softening as they recognized their own children in his words. By the end of his presentation, he urged the community to come together. "We can't do this alone. It takes a village to raise a child, and we are all part of this village. Let us build a future filled with hope, love, and opportunity." As he stepped down from the stage, he was greeted with hesitant applause. But Margaret stood, clapping with genuine enthusiasm. "What a beautiful vision," she exclaimed, her voice ringing out. The applause grew, and Oliver felt a rush of gratitude wash over him. This was just the beginning, but he could see the seeds of hope being sown in the hearts of those present. As weeks turned into months, their initiative began to take shape. They launched the after-school program, and the first week saw turnout that exceeded their expectations. Students flooded into the classroom, laughter filling the air as they explored art, science, and various activities. Emma was front and center, her eyes sparkling as she guided younger students in painting. "This is how you mix colors," she exclaimed, her confidence blossoming. Watching her, Oliver felt a swell of pride. "You are a natural teacher, Emma," he cheered, and she beamed at his words. Malik, too, flourished in his role, leading a session on basic engineering concepts. "If we can build a bridge with just these straws, just imagine what we can create," he encouraged the students, their eyes wide with wonder. As the program gained momentum, so did the sense of community. Parents began attending workshops, and soon the gymnasium was filled not just with students, but with families eager to learn and grow together. But not every day was easy. Challenges emerged, and Oliver found himself faced with unexpected obstacles. There were days when the funding fell short, or when attendance dipped. It was during these moments that doubt crept in, and he questioned whether they could sustain the momentum. One evening, after a particularly tough day, Oliver sat in his classroom, feeling the weight of disappointment heavy on his shoulders. He glanced at the artwork lining the walls, the vibrant colors speaking of dreams and aspirations, yet he felt heavy-hearted. After a moment, he heard a soft knock at the door. "Mr. Jennings." Emma's voice cut through the silence. He looked up, half surprised to see her standing there, her smile brightening the room. "Hey, Emma, what is up?" he asked, forcing a smile. "I just wanted to say thank you for everything," she said, her sincerity washing over him like a warm embrace. "I feel like I can actually be myself now." "Emma, you are the one who has inspired all of us," he replied, swallowing the lump in his throat. "You are a shining star." She stepped closer, her gaze unwavering. "But it is because you believe in us. You didn't give up, even when it was hard, and that makes me want to try harder." Her words struck a chord within him, reigniting that flicker of hope that had dimmed. "Thank you, Emma," he said softly. "You remind me why we were doing this." Days later, Margaret arrived at the school with good news. "Oliver, have you secured funding for the next phase of our program?" she exclaimed, her eyes sparkling with excitement. As they celebrated, Oliver felt a sense of relief wash over him. But he also knew that this success was not just due to the funding, it was a testament to the resilience of the community they had forged. The program continued to thrive, but what Oliver cherished most was witnessing the transformation of his students. Emma grew bolder in her art, winning a scholarship to a local art program. Malik received recognition for his STEM project at a regional fair, while Sophia had her poetry published in a youth anthology. One crisp winter afternoon, as he walked through the school hallways, he overheard Emma and her friends discussing their dreams. "I want to create an art exhibit showcasing kids from our school," she announced passionately. "I want to invent something that helps people," Malik added, determination lighting his eyes. Sophie chimed in with a grin, and I'll write the story behind it. It'll be epic. Listening to their dreams unfurl, Oliver felt tears prick at the corners of his eyes. They were no longer just children trying to survive. They were young creators, dreamers, and leaders. As the school year came to a close, the community held a celebration to showcase the students' talents. Parents, local businesses, and members of the community packed the gymnasium, and the air buzzed with excitement. Oliver stood by the entrance, welcoming everyone with a smile. He felt a sense of pride swell in his heart as he watched Emma present her artwork, Malik demonstrate his engineering project, and Sophia recite her poetry. At the end of the evening, he stood with Margaret, looking out at the vibrant tapestry of their community. "We did this together," he said, gratitude overflowing in his voice. Margaret nodded, her eyes shimmering. "And it's just the beginning. Imagine what else we can achieve when we continue to believe in one another." Oliver smiled, knowing deep within that they had created a ripple of hope that would reach far beyond their little corner of the world. They had ventured into the unknown, faced challenges, and discovered the profound beauty of resilience and kindness. As the celebration continued, Oliver savored each moment, knowing that while life would bring more struggles, there was an unwavering strength and spirit in the hearts of the children he had come to love. And it was that spirit that would light the way forward, illuminating paths of possibility for generations to come. The teacher begged for help, but the rich woman gave him a future. Part 3. The days turned into weeks of celebration and achievement. Oliver Jennings had watched as his students blossomed, their previous shyness giving way to confidence and creativity. The community had embraced the programs with open arms, igniting a fire of collaboration that felt palpable. But even as the success stories thrived, Oliver knew that challenges were never far behind. One Monday morning, Oliver entered the classroom, a mixture of excitement and nervousness bubbling within him. Today was the day they would unveil their first community art exhibit, showcasing Emma's work alongside her peers. The walls were draped with colorful posters, and the tables overflowed with creative pieces. Yet beneath his enthusiasm, a flicker of anxiety lingered. "Hey, Mr. Jennings," Emma called out as she entered the room, her arms laden with her latest canvas. "Good morning, Emma. Are you ready for today?" Oliver beamed. "I've been practicing my speech. I want to tell everyone what this means to me," she replied, her eyes sparkling with determination. "That is the spirit. Your voice deserves to be heard," he encouraged, feeling a warmth spread through his chest. As the hours ticked away, parents began to arrive at the school. Excited chatter filled the hallways, and Oliver found his pulse quickening. They had invited the entire community, hoping to foster connections and encourage involvement. As he mingled with parents and colleagues, he sensed a shared anticipation in the air. "Oliver, this is incredible," Margaret exclaimed, joining him by the entrance. "You did an amazing job organizing all of this." "Thank you, but it is really a collective effort. I can't wait to see how everyone reacts to the students' creativity," he replied, surveying the vibrant pieces displayed around the room. Just then, a wave of unexpected uncertainty washed over him. What if no one showed up? What if the exhibit fell flat? As if sensing his hesitation, Margaret placed a hand on his shoulder. "Remember, it is not just about the number of attendees. This is about the joy of expression and the community coming together. You've already made a difference," she reassured him. With her words echoing in his mind, Oliver took a deep breath, willing his apprehensions to fade. When the clock struck 6, he stepped onto the makeshift stage, feeling the weight of every hopeful gaze upon him. "Welcome, everyone," he greeted, his voice steady. "Tonight, we celebrate the creativity and resilience of our students. These young artists have poured their hearts into their work, and I can't wait for you to witness their talents." After a brief introduction, Emma took the stage, clutching her speech nervously. She cleared her throat, and the crowd hushed. "Hi, everyone. My name is Emma, and I used to be scared to share my art, but with Mr. Jennings in this program, I learned that my voice matters." Applause erupted. Oliver felt tears prick at his eyes as he watched her shine. "I want to show you my painting because it's not just colors on a canvas. It is my story. It is about hope and how we can dream beyond our circumstances." As she spoke, Oliver saw the faces of parents and community members light up with recognition. They were connecting with her narrative, and he couldn't help but feel a swell of pride. After the speeches, the crowd dispersed to explore the exhibit. Oliver watched as parents embraced their children, pride radiating in their eyes as they admired the artwork. But as the night rolled on, he noticed that Malik was standing alone, his hands shoved deep into his pockets. "Malik," Oliver called, approaching him. "Why aren't you enjoying the exhibit?" Malik shrugged, his gaze locked on the ground. I don't know. I thought people would want to talk about my project, but they were all focused on the art. Oliver knelt down to meet him at eye level. UV worked so hard on your STEM project. That's just as important as any painting here. Want to show me how it works? Malik's face brightened a little. Really? Okay. His hesitation melted as he led Oliver to a table where his engineering project, a model bridge made of straws and glue, stood proudly. As Oliver listened to Malik explain the mechanics behind his design, he felt a wave of admiration wash over him. This is brilliant. You are taking real-world challenges and finding solutions, he said, his encouragement fueling Malik's confidence. I guess, Malik said, a shy smile creeping onto his face. But no one seems to care about engineering in an art exhibit. Oliver placed a reassuring hand on Malik's shoulder. This isn't just about art, it is about celebrating creativity in all forms. Let us find a way to showcase your project at the next community meeting that'll give your work the spotlight it deserves. Malik nodded, the excitement returning to his eyes. Yeah, I'd like that, thanks Mr. Jennings. As the evening progressed, Oliver felt a rush of hope. Each student's story intertwined, showcasing the unique tapestry of their experiences. However, just as he began to relish the success, he received a message that sent a ripple of anxiety through him. It was from the school administration. Funding for their program was being cut due to budget realignments. The email was terse, spine-chillingly formal, and it felt like a punch to the gut. Oliver's heart raced as he processed the words. Margaret, he called out, his voice laden with urgency. She rushed over, sensing the gravity in his tone. What is wrong? He showed her the email, his heart sinking. They're recutting our funding. We can't let this happen. Margaret's expression hardened with determination. We need to rally the community. We can't allow this to take away the opportunities we've built. Oliver nodded, grateful for her unwavering support. Let us organize a town hall meeting. We need our families to voice their needs. This isn't just about us, it is about the future of our children. In the days leading up to the meeting, Oliver poured his heart into preparing. He met with parents, encouraging them to share their stories. He wanted everyone to feel involved to understand their collective strength. On the night of the meeting, the gymnasium buzzed with energy. Parents, students, and community members packed the seats, faces reflecting a mixture of concern and determination. Oliver stood at the front, his heart pounding wildly. Thank you all for coming. We are here tonight not just to discuss the cuts to our program, but to stand together as a community, he began, his voice unwavering. He spoke about the impact the arts and STEM initiatives had on their students' lives. He shared the stories of Emma, Malik, and Sophia, emphasizing the transformative nature of their initiatives. As he finished, he stepped back, allowing space for parents to share their thoughts. One by one, they rose, speaking passionately about how the programs had rekindled hope in their families. Oliver believed in our children when we were struggling, a mother said, her voice cracking. He gave them a chance to dream beyond their circumstances. A father added, our kids are thriving because of this program. We want to let the school take this away. As the voices flooded the room, Oliver felt a swell of pride and gratitude. In the midst of adversity, the community was standing firm, united by the belief that every child deserved a chance. When the meeting concluded, they had gathered an overwhelming amount of support. The town council members listened intently, and Oliver felt a renewed sense of hope. In the following weeks, they received good news: the funding cuts had been reconsidered, and a small grant was granted to continue their programs. It wasn't a complete fix, but it was a step in the right direction. As the school year drew to a close, the community held another celebration, this time to honor not just the students, but also the resilience they had shown together. Oliver stood at the front once more, surrounded by beaming faces. Tonight we celebrate more than just our students' achievements, he said, emotion swelling in his voice. We celebrate our community as strength, the connections we've forged, the stories we've shared, and the hope we've built together. The applause was thunderous, echoing in the hearts of those present. As the festivities continued, Oliver caught a glimpse of Anna painting a mural with her classmates, Malik guiding younger students through a STEM activity, and Sophia reciting a poem that captured the essence of their journey. In that moment, he realized that their collective spirit had not only transformed the lives of his students, but had ignited a fire within the community itself. They had learned the beauty of resilience, the importance of kindness, and the strength that comes from standing together. As the sun set on Brookside Elementary, Oliver felt a profound sense of fulfillment. The journey had been fraught with challenges, but it had also birthed a future filled with promise. And he knew that, no matter what lay ahead, the hope and resilience that had blossomed in the hearts of his students would continue to illuminate the path forward for generations to come. Asterisk, the teacher begged for help, but the rich woman gave him a future. Par 4 asterisk. As the school year progressed, Oliver Jennings found himself standing at the precipice of a new chapter. The hard-won successes of their last community celebration echoed in his heart, but the reality of what lay ahead weighed heavily on his mind. The small grant they secured was a blessing, but it was hardly a sustainable solution. The challenges of funding, resources, and the ever-looming spectre of budget cuts continued to hover like dark clouds. "Mr. Jennings, can I help with the mural?" Emma asked one sunny afternoon, her paintbrush poised in hand. The mural, a collective effort, was meant to be a bright symbol of their resilience, a testament to their journey. He smiled, taking a moment to admire her enthusiasm. "Absolutely, Emma, your creativity can really bring it to life. What ideas do you have in mind?" "I want to paint a tree with a big heart at its trunk," she said, her eyes shining with inspiration. "It'll show how we all connected, like branches reaching out to one another." "That's beautiful," Oliver responded, feeling a swell of pride for the young girl who had once been so timid. "Let us get you started on that." As they began to work, the students buzzed around them, laughter filling the air as they mixed colors and splattered paint. Oliver took a step back, watching his students transform the dull wall into a canvas of hope and unity. But beneath the surface joy, he still wrestled with the nagging fear of losing the progress they had made. One afternoon, after school, Oliver sat down with Margaret at their favorite cafe, the aroma of fresh coffee wrapping around them like a warm embrace. He took a deep breath, feeling the weight of uncertainty pressing down on him. "Margaret, I've been thinking, what if the funding doesn't last? What if we can't sustain the momentum?" She looked at him, her gaze steady and reassuring. "I am right there with you, Oliver, but remember, we've built something incredible together. We can't let fear overshadow our hard work." "I know, but what if we lose it all?" he asked, his voice tinged with vulnerability. "What if the kids feel abandoned again? I can't let that happen." Margaret reached across the table, placing her hand over his. "You've given those children hope when they had none. Even if the funding falters, the foundation we've laid won't disappear overnight. We have to keep pushing forward." "Maybe we can organize a fundraising event," Oliver suggested, his mind racing with possibilities. "A community fair or something, invite local businesses to sponsor and promote it. We'll showcase the students' work, and we can raise awareness about their stories." "That's a brilliant idea," she exclaimed, a spark igniting in her eyes. "Let us do it. We can start planning right away." The energy of the cafe shifted as they brainstormed, their spirits lifting with each idea exchanged. They would create a day filled with laughter, art, and connection, event that would showcase the very soul of Brookside Elementary. It would be an opportunity to remind everyone of the power of community. The weeks leading up to the fair were filled with frenzied preparation. Oliver and Margaret enlisted the help of parents and students, turning the school gym into a vibrant festival ground. Banners adorned with student art hung proudly, while booths were decorated with bright colors, promising an array of activities. As they worked tirelessly, Oliver felt a mixture of excitement and anxiety building within him. He watched Emma paint her mural and Malik put together a science demonstration, while Sophia practiced her poetry recitals. The children were buzzing with energy, and yet he couldn't shake the feeling of impending challenges. On the day of the fair, the sun shone brilliantly, casting a warm glow over Brookside Elementary. Colorful tents lined the yard, laughter echoing as families arrived. Oliver felt a surge of hope as he welcomed guests, watching the community come together in a celebration of creativity and resilience. "Mr. Jennings," Emma called out, her face smeared with paint from adding the final touches to her mural. "Look at this, it is perfect." Oliver's heart swelled with pride as he marveled at the mural, a majestic tree with branches stretching wide, filled with hearts and leaves that reflected the hopes of each student. "You've done an incredible job, Emma. This is truly a reflection of who we are." As the fair unfolded, booths filled with games, art, and food attracted crowds, laughter and joy echoing throughout the day. Parents shared stories of their children's transformations, and local businesses joined in as sponsors, showcasing their commitment to the community. But amidst the joy, Oliver couldn't ignore the growing pit of anxiety in his stomach. He wanted this fair to be a success, and yet the spectre of doubt lingered in the back of his mind. What if the turnout wasn't enough? What if they couldn't raise the needed funds? As the day wore on, Oliver noticed Malik standing by himself, fiddling with his engineering project. He approached him, sensing the boy's unease. "Hey, Malik, how's your booth going?" "Not great," Malik admitted, glancing around as families milled about. "I don't think anyone cares about engineering here." "Don't say that," Oliver replied gently. "Your project is amazing. Why don't you show me what you've made?" Malik hesitated but then led Oliver to his booth, where a small model of a bridge stood proudly. "This is my design. It is supposed to demonstrate how engineering can solve problems in real life." Oliver knelt down beside him, awe in his voice. "This is impressive. Let us find some kids to help you demonstrate how it works." Malik's eyes brightened, and together they called over a group of curious children. As Malik explained his project, his confidence grew, and soon laughter filled the air as the kids cheered for his creations. Oliver watched, feeling his heart swell with pride. This was what the fair was all about: connection. As the sun began to set, the community gathered for the closing ceremony. Oliver stood before the crowd, heart racing. "Thank you all for being here today. This fair is a celebration of our children's talents and the strength of our community. Together, we've rebuilt something remarkable." The applause echoed, and he felt hope radiate through the crowd. "Tonight, we also want to acknowledge the hard work of our students. Emma, Malik, Sophia, all of you have inspired us with your creativity and resilience." As he continued to speak, he felt a shift in the energy around him. Families cheered, children beamed with pride, and the sense of unity enveloped them like a warm blanket. But just as Oliver was about to wrap up, he spotted a familiar face at the back of the crowd: Margaret. She approached him, a determined look in her eyes. "Oliver," she whispered urgently, "there is something you need to see." He followed her to a nearby booth where a local business owner stood with a check in hand. "I heard about what you were doing here," the man said, his voice beaming with enthusiasm. "We want to support this program. Here is the first step." Oliver's heart raced as he accepted the check, the reality of their hard work beginning to crystallize. "Thank you. This means so much to our students." As the fair concluded, the energy among families remained electric. They had raised an amount that would allow them not only to sustain the programs, but also to expand upon them. Oliver felt tears of gratitude prickling at the corners of his eyes. Later that evening, as the fair came to a close, Emma approached him with a shy smile. "Mr. Jennings, I just wanted to say thank you. Today was amazing, and it was all because you believed in us." He knelt to her level, feeling overwhelmed by her words. "No, Emma, it's you who have inspired me. You remind me every day of the power of hope." As the community began to pack up, Oliver felt a sense of fulfillment wash over him. The struggles they had faced felt worth it. Each obstacle had brought them closer together, and every victory had illuminated their path forward. In the following weeks, they solidified their plans for expanding the after-school program, incorporating everything from art to engineering. Families became actively involved, and a network of support blossomed, reinforcing the foundation they had built together. Emma, Malik, and Sophie thrived in their newfound roles, and Oliver couldn't help but smile as he watched them embrace their dreams. They were no longer just students, they were leaders, creators, and advocates for change. One sunny afternoon, as Oliver walked through the school hallways, he overheard Emma and her friends discussing their future plans. "I want to become an art teacher," she exclaimed. "I want to build bridges that last forever," Malik chimed in, determination clear in his voice. Sophie added, "And I'll write stories about all of us." Listening to their dreams unfurl, Oliver felt his heart swell with pride. These children had transformed into something beautiful, and their collective spirit had lit a fire of hope that would carry them forward. As the school year drew to a close, Oliver stood before the mural on the wall, a vibrant representation of the children's dreams, connected through shared experiences and mutual support. It was a reminder of their resilience and the love that had flourished amidst the struggles.